Hi, honeybees. Happy Sassy Sunday, and welcome to Arizona Fashion Week Fashion Hub. My name is Tiara Deahn Thornton, and I have a powerhouse panel group of women here to share their views on female leadership and inclusivity in fashion. Our first panelist is from the Dominican Republic. She has been featured in numerous publications for her modeling and vibrant, modest styling. She has been featured on Telemundo Arizona, ABC 15, and Goodwill. She encourages women to embrace who they are through styling, team building, and faith. Please welcome model, stylist, and the founder of Mujeres of All Shades, Franchela Franco. Our next panelist began her career as a personal stylist at Saks Fifth Avenue. She creates one-of-a-kind garments with ethically sourced materials for her brand, Classic Reclaim. Her mission is to educate individuals on sustainability and the importance of being an eco-conscious consumer. Please welcome fashion educator and the sustainable fashion designer, Amanda Jacobs. Our next panelist is all about community and sharing what she has learned as a model in the industry. She has worked with exceptional brands and clients in LA, Chicago, and right here in beautiful Arizona. Coaching over 600 models on the business of modeling, runway, and posing, she makes it all look so easy. Please welcome coach, dancer, model, and the founder of The Creators AZ, Shannon Love. Shannon Love. Last, but certainly not least, is a professional and sustainable fashion stylist here in Arizona. She has been featured on ABC 15, Channel 3 News, and Goodwill Arizona campaigns. Her mission is to help her clients build confidence through styling and with the intention to help them elevate to the next level in their careers. Please welcome fashion stylist, public speaker, and co-founder of The Creators AZ, Colleen Quinn. Ladies, thank you for being here for our discussion on female leadership and inclusivity in fashion. I want to start with the definition of inclusivity. Inclusivity is the practice or policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, such as those having physical or intellectual disabilities, or belonging to other minority groups. Starting with Colleen, as a female business owner, why is inclusivity important to you and your brand?
There are so many reasons why it's important, but mainly just with my mission of everyone feeling included, it's very important for me to show individuality in my brand, show diversity in my brand, and encourage women and men, especially, just to be their best selves. And the only way to carry on that mission is to include everyone. Since I started my business, Style by CQ, back in 2020, I've made it a mission to always work with anyone and everyone, because everyone has the ability to feel beautiful and feel confident in themselves. And so that is something that is extremely important to me and that I've carried out throughout my other endeavors and career. Other than that, I definitely feel like inclusivity is important because it helps bring everyone together, and that's extremely important when it comes to business. It's extremely important when it comes to leadership, and it's extremely important when it comes to confidence and fashion. And so that is a little bit of why it's important to me.
I'll take this one first. It's super important, I think, inclusivity, not only in the industry when you have models and makeup artists and all these creative people doing something that they love, but as a person who has a brand, I want everyone to see themselves be able to wear the things that I create. And the fun thing about sustainability is that when I'm thrifting, when I'm looking for things, I'm not looking for sizes. I'm looking for great style. I'm looking for good foundation so that I can make anything happen from it. And so it's important because I want the person on the runway showing my things to be able to, convey to the audience that will be buying these beautiful items that they can wear them, any size, any shape, any color. It doesn't matter. It's for everybody, and it's all about just being creative and allowing, the person to, find what they love. So it's super important. Yep.
Nice. I'll piggyback off of that because for models, I feel like it's imperative that we see people, whatever category you're in, it's important that you see that representation, because for me, if I see myself, I'm going to want to purchase that immediately. If I don't, then I'm already second guessing your brand. Will it fit me? Is it right? Even when it comes down to colors and tones, like, is the shade correct on my skin tone? Like, all of those things I feel like need to be taught. Even when it comes down to modesty, like, do you have enough for the modest women? You have to think about all of those things to be well-rounded, to really include. And I think it's so simple as, did you honestly think about it? It's not hard. Like, we're not all one thing. We literally come in different shades and tones and all of these things. So it's like, really, just take a second and really include everyone. And so I love that, we have designers and stylists now who are willing to be like, okay, am I inclusive? And really take a look at themselves in the world and really represent that.
Well, I think inclusivity is so important because inclusivity means change. Right? We're always talking about we want things to change, we want to see diversity, we want to see things get better, but how are we doing that? Inclusivity. What does that mean? For me, as the founder of Mujeres of All Shades, I started this because I wanted to build a space where women can feel beautiful in the skin that they were in and embracing who they are and where they come from. I'm Afro-Latina. I speak Spanish as my first language. So me being in Arizona, sometimes I felt like I didn't see much of women who looked like me or had the same hair as me or looked like me and speak the same language as I did. So I decided that it was important to do something regarding inclusivity, right? By starting this movement and doing things where women can feel amazing, and also through styling, colors, patterns, letting women know that you don't have to wear black to look slim. It works, but not for us. Not for us. So letting women know that they can wear whatever they want. There's sizes out there for them. As a stylist, I love to work with models who come from different places, different walks of life, but also have different skin tones and body types. I want them to feel beautiful and I want them to feel loved and appreciated. So definitely inclusivity is very important and we should move forward with that.
Do brands need to market inclusivity to be successful?
They definitely do. Again, going back to what I just said, like, if I don't see you in it or see someone like me, you gotta sell me. There's so many other people in the world making clothes too, so it's like, you got 30 seconds for anyone really to pitch or to convince me that your brand is it. So yeah, you gotta market it or it's a lie.
And stepping into that, as someone that a lot of brands look like me, quite the opposite is true. If there are brands that just show me, I'm completely put off by it because it shows that they're not understanding inclusivity, they're not representing other types of women, other body shapes, other shades of women, and that's completely a turn off to me because the way that I carry myself and my brand, it's extremely important to have all walks of life, all women, because all women are extremely beautiful. And so when I see one shape and size, one hair tone, one skin tone, it tells me that they're not in the business of accepting everyone. And that, to me, is completely against everything that I want to represent. So that's a complete turn off for me. Also, kind of something I was thinking about as all of us were speaking is how important it is in fashion world when it comes to fashion shows. I think someone, as a woman that people would see me as a white woman, which I am, it's extremely important for me to educate myself on working with hairstylists and makeup artists that do work with other skin tones, that do work with other hairstyles, because I never want my models to feel like they have to do their own makeup or they have to bring their own hair products. And so it's up to us, especially as white people and as white women, to educate ourselves and to be knowledgeable in these fields so that we can work and feel comfortable working with women that don't look like us. And so, like I said, the opposite is 100% true. I think that brands that are not inclusive are slowly shading away, which I'm happy to see because it's extremely important. and do it for the right reasons, right? Don't just do it because it's a fad or because it looks cool to include other women. Do it because you actually want to do it. And so I think that's extremely important when we're talking about inclusivity.
From what Colleen said, I think it's very important that we don't say it and we do it. And it's becoming a trend to have a specific skin tone on a flyer. It's becoming a trend to have a specific body type. And the thing with brands now is that we can't say we support inclusivity, we have to actually show it. We can't just have a commercial with plus size girls and afros and curves, and then when you actually go to a fashion show, and then when you actually go to their stores to buy their products, that's not what you're seeing. So we need to really focus on those brands and that are really putting it out there. What are you doing? I want to go to your fashion show and I want to see women who look like me, who look like Colleen, like Shannon, like Amanda, like Tiara. I need to see it. I don't want to see a commercial because the commercial is just for 1 second. What are you really going to give me? What are you really going to give my kids and everybody around us? So it's very important that even though brands are promoting inclusivity, we want to see it for real. We want to see it on fashion shows. We want to see it in the stores. I want to go to the store and I want to see a girl like me on that flyer. Not just on the commercial, not because it's for show, not because it's trending, but because they're actually doing it.
I think that's a strong point, and I was thinking when we were talking about it, it's like, just be genuine, like be transparent, show us who you really are, and not to just make money, not to sell, not to, fill that quota or whatever that is that you need to hit for the month. And you see that in the fast fashion brands. They jump on those trends so fast, they put whoever they think you want to see in their ad campaigns, and they do it because they think, oh, they'll believe us and they'll spend money here, and it's like, well, we see through it, we're seeing right through it. And so don't be fooled. Look for the genuineness of somebody where their intentions are actually real. They really want all these women of all these different, types of, to be seen. Genuinely, that's their intention. And so, yeah, don't fall for it because they'll do it. They just want to make money. They know how to get into your head and, just don't allow them to. You're the consumer. You're the one that's spending the money. You can decide and they'll see it. Yeah.
I want to add this is a great opportunity to say, shop with your local people, okay? The people around you, like really getting to who is in your community so that you can put that money straight back into the community instead of other things,
And you can have a conversation with that person.
Exactly.
You can talk to them. You can really gauge and see, is this person real? They're trying to sell me stuff. Is this, and you can talk to them all the time. You can see them in the arena of your community, and it's like, these people are there for you. So don't spend your money in places that, are just supporting all of these things if you're really wanting to do that.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
And we have some amazing vendors here at the Fashion Hub, so you can start that today.
Start it right now, okay? Yes, Tiara.
Plug. And you ladies bring up a good point about inclusivity and what comes with that. I do want Franchela and Shannon to share your personal experiences wearing natural hairstyles and your protective hairstyles, how that has affected you throughout your careers. And then Colleen talked on it a little bit about how she approaches working with models that don't have hair similar like hers. And so Amanda and Colleen, I would like for you to explain how you approach those models and how you make them feel comfortable backstage. So 2 different questions back right now.
Okay, so I'll start first. So I either do 2 things. I keep a weave in or I keep my hair natural, because if it's natural, either way it goes, there's prep for my mind that I don't necessarily need to do. So for anybody else, they just go to, a casting, they show up to hair and makeup. For me, I need to ask, do you want my real hair or would you like a weave? And then they're like, oh, what is a weave? Okay, well that gets deep. Do I have it in a crochet? Do I have it in a straight wave? It gets really deep. And then it's like, okay, if I come with this style, is there someone there who understands what I'm wearing, whether that be a crochet, a wig, or my natural hair? Can you upkeep that? Can you not play in my hair? Because as a black woman, my mom literally would whoop me if I came back home and my hair was switched, a bead was gone, oh, somebody been playing in your hair. And I'm like, so I have PTSD, okay? So I'm not going to sit in your chair and allow you to play in my hair, as my mom would say. And so I need to feel confident that you will be able to do that. And I just don't. So what I do is do my hair before, literally before everything. If I know that your team isn't, filled at least with a black woman or people who I've seen literally with my eyes be able to do hair, I'm not going to allow that because I don't want my hair to be damaged, In the big fashion world too, girls, they just put out this whole thing. You reposted it on your hair, and it was great. And they say the same thing. It's either a weave or you're natural. Now, Fran, tell us.
Well, everything Shannon said is correct, and I think there's a lot of areas that we could change and we could do better when it comes to natural hair and black women's hair in general. Our hair is very different, it's very diverse, but I hate the word unmanageable. Our hair is manageable, it's doable, it's unique. I think unique and different is so different, because when I say unique, I say my hair is special. When I say different, I think my hair is excluded from a circle. So in the fashion world, it's so difficult sometimes because, like Shannon said, when I have a fashion show or I have a photo shoot, I already have anxiety the day before. I'm already thinking, who's going to comb my hair? Will they know how to do it? Are they going to touch it right? What are they going to do with my hair? Like, I'm already stressed out because it happens a lot when in a lot of fashion communities, there's not hairstylists who are, let's say, specialized in our hair. They don't know how to do it, they feel uncomfortable, they feel scared, and there's nothing to be scared of. We just need a little bit more love, a little bit more grease, but it's doable. So definitely, like Shannon said, I did repost something very special that I saw, and it was very impactful. LA Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, with top designers and top models were talking about how their hair was burnt, dropping off. A lot of models had to cut their hair off because because their hair was being burnt by MUAs, and it was a lot. So it's very difficult for us to be in a space where we just cannot just be our fabulous self. We cannot just arrive and say, hey, I know I'm going to have my hair done properly, they're going to manage it correctly, or even the makeup. Makeup is a real big thing when it comes to African American models or women of color in general. I think Shannon could say too, I can't sleep the day before thinking, who's gonna do my makeup?
Yeah, because the shades, it gets really intense. Like, I don't want to be a ghost, but like you said, I feel like everything is about, do you know your craft? Like, why don't you know colors? Like, why don't you know textures? I feel like that's just a part of what you do. So then for me, back to my mama, shout out to you. She said, if you're going to do anything, you have to be the best at it. So for me, you just don't care. You're not really that passionate, right? Because again, it's colors and textures.
Yeah, and like Shannon said, it's just understanding. It's just learning your craft. MUAs, hair, they should know how to deal with every type of hair, right? Because not all the models are the same. And we go back to diversity. Because if there's diversity and we're trying to bring diversities into the fashion shows, into brands, into whatever we're trying to do, what does that mean? You have to be ready to work with models who do not look like the average model, right? Black, Latinas, curly hair, afros. So we go back to the same thing of diversity. So it's very important that we have these conversations. And now Tiara knows, I was like, babe, I want to do a community. I want to do this, I want to do that. And I just kept holding it off, like, what are people going to say? Is it going to work out? Am I ready? Do I have the tools? And you're never going to be ready to do something for you. Like, you're going to learn in the process, you're going to make mistakes. Maybe you're going to do an event, one person will show up, yay, the next one two, and then three. Then you'll do an event, you'll have a whole stadium filled, right? But it's just doing it, like not being afraid to go for your dreams, believe in yourself. I personally, sometimes I talk to Shannon, I was like, T, I don't know what's happening. Like, God is good to me, right? Because, with Mujeres of All Shades, we've been having so many opportunities. I've been on Telemundo. I've been in Univision. I've been in so many different things, ad magazines. It's crazy. Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, one of the biggest Hispanic chambers here in Arizona. And they're talking about mujeres. And sometimes I'm just like, how is this even happening? Like, I'll interview. But it's letting God guide you, letting God put everything in place, trusting yourself, believing yourself, knowing what your mission is, what your vision is, and trusting in yourself, and also having a great support group, which is very important because behind every project, there's a ton of little people back there working. Behind all of this, there's an entire team working. So just having a community that's going to support you, genuine friends that are going to be there with you, finding a coach, finding people around you that are going to help you, and not being afraid to ask questions and ask for help. Because when I started, I needed a lot of help. I was like, Tiara, girl, like, what? Girl, what are we gonna do? So it's just having people that are gonna help you, that are gonna care about you, gonna support you, and they're gonna walk by your side to trial and errors, yeah.
While we're talking about support, before you guys go, shout out to everybody in this room. Okay, Colleen, Tiara, Fran. We got a lot of people in here who aided and supported this, so thank you. I just felt like that was a great moment for that.
It's a perfect incision. I love to piggyback off that. I think that when you're first starting out and you have this plan in your mind, you're second guessing yourself constantly. And you're looking for guidance, you're looking for reassurance from the people around you. I remember when I was starting my business out a few years ago, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and then things started to just fall into place without me really trying too hard because I was just letting it happen. And then I sat down at a Thanksgiving one year, and the little thing, the card in front of me said, "Seek those who fan your flames." And it spoke to me because I thought, dang, like, put people around you that are going to make you burn brighter, that are going to make you burn bigger, that are going to make you take that flame to the next level where you're just like on fire and nobody can stop you. So seek those who fan your flames. Like, they better be around you, like, woo, like, you know what I mean? Like that, yeah, like making you just explode because, and that's what you want, because there are always going to be those people around you too that second guess you. But maybe because they love you. Like, I have family members like close to me that are like, nah, it's okay. And I'm like, are you see what I've been doing the past few years? Like, are you kidding me? And they're like, yeah, because they want to protect me. Because what if it doesn't work out? But you know what? That's not going to stop me. Like, I can't think of that. So I let them think of that, and they can sit with those thoughts. You worry about me on that side, and I'm going to keep going on this side. And I'll put people around me that'll just make me burn even brighter. So yeah, seek those out.
Love it. Love all of that so much. The spice, I'm feeling it. One thing that I always advocate for when I'm speaking, when I'm talking to individuals, and I will say it time and time again, is you have to be your biggest fan. I know the support is amazing, but I remember a time, and I'm going to shout out somebody in the crowd, my mother. She has been one of my biggest supporters since ground one. A lot of people in my family, they don't do creative. They do 9 to 5. They do corporate. And so when I was 21 and graduating college, I said, Mom, I want to put Smile Like Colleen, like my I want to put it on my graduation cap. Because back in the day, guys, you have to remember, graduation caps were decorated, okay? And she's like, hold on, out of all the things in college that you've done, you want to put your Instagram name where you got, how many followers do I have? 300? I was like, I want to do this. I need to promote my brand. She goes, what brand? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it will be a brand. I promise you it will be a brand, and I will be something. And you just keep it in the back pocket. So what did I do? I did it. I put Smile Like Colleen on my graduation cap at 21. I'm 29. Just to give you some context of how long it takes. It is not an overnight success ever. There is always so much work that goes into things. And I knew you always know what you have. It's just a matter of you're willing to act on it and not have fear in acting on it. Because at the end of the day, all of us don't really know what we're doing. We're just figuring it out. And so every single person that you think, oh, they know everything. Ooh, they had a whole plan. I promise you one time, they had trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. I can't tell you how many times I started over with what I wanted to do vision-wise. I always knew the direction I wanted to go. But it's okay to not have everything lined up and figured out in the process. And so that was extremely important to me starting out my brand, is I believed in myself, and I was my uncomfortably and annoying biggest fan for so long by myself. And the one thing that I will say, and I don't want to get emotional, so I probably will breeze by it, is I think the moment that my parents really thought, like they knew, oh, maybe she's actually doing something, was when I was on the news. And my dad always made the joke, rest in peace, he passed in 2020. He always made the joke that, oh, you want to be famous? Like, okay, Colleen, good luck with that. And I don't even, how many times do you think he replayed the news segment?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds of times. And that was, I think, everyone has this is the thing, everyone in your life will have that light bulb moment, but you have to have that light bulb already on. Everyone's going to have a light bulb moment where they go, oh, wait, she's kind of doing something. But you have to have the light bulb burning the entire time, because the fact of the matter is this, if someone's going to come to you and say, oh, I see what you've been doing, it's like, I already knew. You know, like you're not gonna come off that way, but you have to have confidence in the fact, like, thank you so much. But in the back of your mind, you knew, I already knew that I was gonna do that. I already knew I was gonna go that way. So yeah, it might be surprising in the moment, all these amazing things are happening to you, Franchela. It was already written, you know. There's so much more that's written in all of our journeys, but it's just a matter of making sure that light bulb, even on its darkest day, doesn't burn out. So I don't know how I just said that. That was on the top of my head.
Go off, be cute.
Ladies, describe a rewarding moment in your careers.
The first moment that I coached a big group of people and like they got it. Like I saw on their face like they understood, like their confidence and their whole demeanor kind of switched. And I was like, that's fucking beautiful. It's just like that in itself. It's like I impacted them enough to literally change the trajectory of how they freaking thought about themselves. And like it's like confidence, boom, there. But it was already there. And it's just like to see that in human form right before your eyes is like one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced. So for me, I know that seems silly, and I've had like so many other big moments, but it's literally me shifting people's lives.
I would say I think I have two special moments, and the first one was one day I was just exhausted, right? Being a mom and doing all the things that I do, I was just exhausted, and I've done a few magazines where I've been featured, and I've done covers and all that stuff, and I usually keep it in my office. And one day I was just sitting in my office, and I had my head on the table, and I was like, oh Lord Jesus, I'm tired. I just started to cry out of nowhere. And my daughter, Leiani, she's 3 now, she came up with the magazine, one of the covers that I did for Marika, and she gave me the magazine. And she's like, Mom, I don't know where she learned that word. She's like, Mom, you know you're a bad E? Yeah. Bad. And I was like, who told you that? She's like, you know you're a bad E? And I was like, what? Who told you? And Jelani was my older. She's like, Mom, a baddie, like somebody that's bad and they got it together. And I was like, oh, I get what you're talking about. So that was the moment that I saw my daughter tell me something that maybe at that moment I was doubting. And she's like, Mom, and my daughters, they have all my magazines in the office, and they'll sit there and they'll look at the magazine. They'll be like, Mom, that's you. Mom, they think I'm famous. So they're like, Mom, you're famous, or you're this, or whenever. You know, sometimes I have those days when I have to get ready and I have to leave them, and they're like, Mom, are you going to my daughters know, they know the drill. They're like, are you going to a fashion show? Or they'll be like, are you going to model today? Do you have a photo shoot? And they're so used to my life, and they're so proud of me. And there's moments when I'm like, girls, I can't take you out today, but because I got to do this show. They're like, Mom, go ahead, we can go next time, you know. So they're adapting to my life, and they're so supportive. And I think that's the moment where I realize that what I'm doing is worth it. And then the second moment was when we did our first photo shoot for Mujeres of All Shades. It was, oh my God, it was like 1,000 degrees. It was hot. We were sweating. I brought the whole crew together. I did not know it was going to be Mujeres of All Shades. I just told the girls, I want to do a photo shoot, and I wanted to call it United. Yeah, right? And it was so hot in downtown. We were all sweating. Aisha was part of the photo shoot. It was a group of us, and we were sweating, and I did not know what I was doing. I just thought in my heart I wanted to do a photo shoot with a group of women. And then when I did Mujeres, and we had our first, when we went to, I think it was ABC 15, after that, I looked back into that, and I was like, I saw that photo that we did in like 100 degrees in downtown. I was like, wow, look how far we have come. And sometimes we forget how far we have come. You know, so those little moments were the moments that really triggered me, and it reminded me of that I'm doing amazing and that I should keep moving forward.
I would agree. I think sometimes, like, our children, I have 3 little kids, and so my daughter's 5, and all my kids are always like, where are you going? I'm like, fashion thing, it's a fashion thing. So they know, you know, when that's happening. But my daughter, one time I was getting ready to go to a show, and she said, can I come with you? And like, normally I don't bring my children to shows, because usually they're at night, and they're just not, you know, the typical place you'd bring children, because they're young, they're like 11 and under. But this one was a little bit more casual. So I was like, yeah, you can come with me. So I brought her, I ended up bringing a dress that matched the collection. They ended up like putting her in the show like real fast. Like she was like, I want to walk, and I was like, okay. So then she walked in the show. She took pictures. At one point, she was like, Mom, I'm gonna take these by myself, and she was like pushing me out of the way to take pictures. And then she wanted to take pictures with the model, and the photographers were just loving her. And it was just like to share something that you love so much with the people that love you is just really important. And for her to see like where I go, like I know she's 5, so she might not remember, but to see where I go when I'm not with her. Like when my time isn't with you, I'm doing something that feeds me, and it's so important to me. And to have her know that, appreciate that, because she too will have something that feeds her in that way. And just to never give it up. Like so many times I've been like, that's it, I'm done. Like, it's not happening anymore. I don't have time. I'm sewing at 3 a.m. because I have to tend to my kids first. And it's like just never giving up and always having that in your mind that there's an outcome that you want. It's going to be difficult to get there, but if you work really hard to get there, you will. And so just like, I don't know, it's just powering through those 3 a.m. sewing sessions when I have a show and not caring, just knowing that like it is so worth it to me that I don't care. I have no sleep. And, but yeah.
No, I'm not crying anymore. I did shed a tear. Because I have kids too, and they're boys, so they're not like playing and stuff. But my kid does go to school and then tell everyone that I'm a fashion model. Like, yeah. And I'm like, stop doing that. I'm like, because it's not important. Like, I want them to know me as not that. I'm just mom in that scenario.
I think it's just that proud moment for them. Because I remember one time when I came out in Telemundo, they did a segment about Hispanic Heritage Month, and I was so excited because I was the first Afro-Latina that they ever done in Telemundo's history, I think, here in Arizona, to have an Afro-Latina say my story, and then also en Arrojo Vivo con Telemundo. And it was so hilarious because my daughters, we were in the car, I picked them up from school, we're going back home, and they're having this conversation. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they're in the back and they're whispering, and Giuliani was like, oh my gosh, so are we going to have to like wear disguises and stuff? And then I'm just hearing in the back, like, what are they talking about? And then my other one is like, I don't know, dude, because mom has on TV now. How am I going to go back to school? And they're just talking, and I was telling Stephanie about it. I was like, it was hilarious. And they were in the back thinking about, they were so worried, like, what are we going to do? Like, we were on the news. Like, what are we going to do? It was so funny. So when I didn't tell them I heard the conversation, but it was so impactful for them to know. So when I got home, I told them about that. They're like, Mom, you're so famous. And I'm like, no, baby, I'm not famous. Like, I'm famous in the community, but not yet. But it's just those moments when they realize what you're doing. And even though it's so tiring, and you guys know it's like so time consuming, when you hear your kids say these type of things, it's what keeps you going, and it makes you feel special. And even though, like Colleen said, it's so important to have people around you to support you, but it's always so important to support yourself, because when you believe in yourself, your kids see that. My girls know I'm super confident, and my girls are confident as well. They try to mimic me, and that's so important too.
Speaking from the woman that doesn't have kids yet, I would definitely say they're always watching.
They're always watching.
I remember being 5, watching this woman in the pitch black get ready to go to work, spray on a perfume, put makeup on, look beautiful, go to work all day, come home, cook dinner, go to the field trip. They're always watching, and I've always observed my mother and how incredible she is and how she's carried herself and been that person that goes to work. And I remember I've gone to work in the past with you when I was younger and seen how people treat you. It's important to bring them into those environments because you can see how people see you in a different light. You know, when you're at home and you're with your family, that's a different light. But then when we're in fashion, people see us and the way they treat us, and you know, it's different, right? And it's not that we're famous or anything, but in the community, like, people do look up to us. So it's important to bring people that may not understand that in those environments. And so I remember going to work with my mom and everyone being like, and it's funny because people call her PQ and people call me CQ. So honestly, she's like the OG Loki. But people used to be like, oh, hey, PQ, or everyone calls her mom, like her whole work life. I remember everyone calling her mom or mama. And so, like, she's just the boss. She walks in, but she's friendly boss. Like, she was always so kind, but so people were like respectful of her, and like it was just that authority, but that beautiful kindness. And so that was something I always tried to take with me when I became a professional business owner, is how can I come off as extremely direct but also kind and empathetic and all of those things that my mom taught me in order to inspire me and go to that next level. So I think it's really important to realize that everybody's watching, and like I said, there aren't many people in my family that understand what I do. They're like, oh, you put clothes on people, that's fun. I'm like, yeah, it's fun. But you know, I mean, like, you always are, they're gonna take the traits from you and they're going to use those. And you know, like, it's so crazy how they can observe you and become that person. And so I don't remember the original question, to be very honest. Okay, great. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. But honestly, like, I'm just so grateful for having a mother that really showed me by example of how to be a kind woman, but also be a boss. And that was really important to me growing up and completely impacted me in how I am today. So.
I love that, ladies. I have one more question before we wrap up, because there's a lot of charcuterie left.
We gotta eat the charcuterie.
As glamorous as fashion events are, behind the scenes are not so glamorous. What is your motivation to continue growing your brands?
I'm going to take this first so that I don't have to be last. I think my motivation for growing my brand is to not only express how important sustainability is in the environment of fashion, also just the importance of inclusivity too, just making sure everybody feels welcomed and part of it, because they are. But it's also, you know, about, wait, hold on, where was I?
It was your most...
Building my brand.
Yes. Why do you keep building your brand?
I want to show people how sustainability and fashion can also be chic and stylish. That's where I was going with that. I'm so sorry. I'm back. And so I have been around high-end fashion for the longest part of my career, and so I think I inspected items when they came in, and I knew everything in the store, and it was just having those times to look at the fashion and think, how can I be sustainable and also have really high style and really chic look as well? And it's really important to me. So, you know, I'm not making items made out of fast fashion items and things like that. You're looking for like good foundational things that I can then have that memory of that garment live on with somebody else and have them make new memories and create new things and have it just, you know, one of my hashtags is always new to you, because it's like it's one of a kind and somebody else may have worn it very differently, but now you have it and you're going to wear it, you know, in a whole new way. Yeah, and then carry it on. So yeah, that's where I'm going with classic reclaim. So
I'll piggyback off of that. Some of you know me from Goodwill, Arizona days, where I did every video possible, every campaign possible when it comes to fashion, right? Summer, spring, Halloween, fall, Valentine's Day. And I did that because I was so passionate about repurposing and passionate about taking something that, who knows what that story looked like, and pulling it into something else. Like, this entire outfit's from Goodwill. And I love telling people that because, because it's just so important, because at the end of the day, I'd rather spend less money to look like nobody than spend more money to look like everybody.
Oh, girl. You need to trademark that one, Colleen.
I love that quote. I've said it a few times. And it's just extremely important to me. And when it comes to why I keep going in chaotic environments, I haven't fulfilled my purpose yet. Not even close. I scratched the surface, but I have so much more ahead of me that I need to fulfill. That's part of my purpose that I can't stop now. That would be a disservice to myself. That would be a disservice to everyone that looks up to me. That would be a disservice to everything. And so not only is that ultimately why, but also bringing in sustainability. I think it's getting cooler to dress vintage and cooler to be sustainable, but the people that love thrifting are the people that understand why it's so beautiful. And a lot of my style and a lot of my thrifting comes from blazers. Like, I have probably 50 plus blazers, which is slightly an addiction. But Think about the women that wore those blazers maybe in the 90s that were fighting, the norms and trying to be a boss when no man would take the respect from them. So you think about the stories and it's just so beautiful to think about. But ultimately, I think the reason why I keep going, number one, I haven't built it yet. It's not even close. I scratched the surface. And then number two, because it's so important to spread the message about sustainability and thrifting and how you can repurpose something. We have enough clothes to go around forever, and there's so much uniqueness in thrifting and finding those treasures, and elevating and being a woman and being able to dress beautiful without breaking the bank. And so you'll always find me saying like, oh no, I got this at Goodwill, it's a blessing, but then it's like, yeah, but girl, I wanted that. I'm like, I can't help you there. But you can book me online and get a third. Anyway. So, but yeah, I just want to say, since we are wrapping up, thank you all so much for having us on this panel. Thank you, Tiara. I don't know if you're going to do this, but I'm going in. Thank you, Tiara, so much for being an incredible human and just hosting such a beautiful, planned out, well-detailed event to the T. I can't even imagine what other events are going to look out. To the T, I didn't even mean to say that. Mom putting me on the spot. And I just appreciate you guys all so much. So thank you so much.
I think when it comes to staying on track with my brand and not giving up even when things get crazy, it's like Colleen said, I'm not done yet. This is only the beginning. There's so many things that I've done, and I'm just like, I dreamed of those moments, and now I'm here, and I'm like, okay, I have more to do, and I have more to do. So it's just not giving up on myself, moving forward, knowing that this is not where it's going to end. We're going to be in bigger places, doing bigger things, and also giving up right now would not really helping anyway, right? Because I'm going to be letting myself down, my family down, who holds me down when I have to come out here and do all these things. And also my daughters, they're like my cheerleaders. They're like watching everything I do. If I fall, they're kind of stumbling. I have to stay together to keep them together, and I have to work for them, and I have to work for my husband, who is amazing and supportive, and he's just go do you. I ain't going, but you go do you. So just like being able to know that there's so many women out there that see us. Sometimes we feel like we're not seen. And every time I go to an event, somebody tells me, oh, I follow you. Oh, I follow Mujeres of All Shades. Or I have brands and companies tell me, oh my God, I saw Mujeres of All Shades. We follow them. And I'm just like, when, how, what? How is this happening, But they're seeing, people are looking at you, people are watching, and the people that you least expected, you are supporting them, you're helping them. When you go on Instagram and you write a quote, or when you go to an event, or you style somebody, you're changing their lives, you're changing their days, you're saying something really great to them. And I have a quick story before I move on to the other girls that happened to me. And I worked with Amanda for a little bit as a fashion teacher. And I think that was one of the most rewarding moments of my life, because I got to work with so many youth, right? These children who they have so many dreams, and they have all this energy, and they just want to eat the world, they want to try it all. And I ran into one that was my student when I was there, and at the media day, and I was so excited to see him because he saw me. He's like, teacher, and I was like, what are you doing here, boy? And he was like, teacher, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I'm part of this whole thing. And he was so excited to see me, and he was telling me how he was volunteering and everything that I taught him during that time, motivating him to apply to be part of the volunteer team. And I didn't even know that. And he told me, you know what? You were amazing. You helped us so much. I learned from you so much. And you were a great teacher. You were a great role model. And there was a moment when I asked him and I said, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm volunteering. I'm just helping. But the way he said, he's like, I'm just volunteering and just helping with a few things. And I was like, wait a minute. First of all, if I'm asking you, what are you doing? Tell me with confidence, what are you doing? I'm volunteering. I'm part of the staff. I'm an upcoming designer. I want to be a model. Tell me with authority who you are, because you don't know who I am. This is a practice for you. Somebody comes up to you and asks you, what are you doing? You better have that confidence, because the person that's asking you who you are might just change your life, boy. So you better do it right? And it was so funny, because when I was going to leave, he told me, thank you so much for saying that. That really impacted my life. I didn't know it was, when I said it, it came across like that. I was like, no, you always have to have that confidence. You always have to go out there. You always have to believe in yourself. And you always have to approach everyone like that person is going to change your life. So just moving forward, doing what I need to do, keep working, keep supporting my community, and staying truthful to my brand because there's so much more for us to do.
Okay, yes. Okay, so for me, I just want to keep cultivating safe spaces. It's just so important for me to be able to aid that. I really don't want to be famous. I want to be wealthy, so none of that matters to me. That's why I have this wealthy. That's why I have a different outlook. People liking me and knowing me, like, great, but did I impact you? Did I change you? Did I make you want to do something? I want to be able to coach a lot more people. Ultimately, I want my own building where I can just host all of my things and my workshops and aid and support and be able to pay people. And I just feel like I am a cultivator of like just space and people want to come to me. So for me, it's that, but also so I can pass that on to my sons. Like I want them to have safe spaces and be able to love on other people and help. Because for me and my family, everything was about help, you know. How can I get you to the next level? They don't believe in you, we believe in you, and just, you know, having that. I feel like it's just so necessary to be that person that feels that place, or be that black woman on that team, or be that person for someone who, you know, needs that. So for Shannon Love, it's up and onward, and I thrive on chaos, honey, bring it. All of it. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you. And thank you guys so much. And Tiara, seriously, can we give it up for Tiara, please? Raise your hand if you think that she should have this ongoing. We need more tea times. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, so much. I have a special place for each of you, so I won't get emotional.
I'm a cry.
But
We love you.
We should continue these conversations through Instagram. I have all of our QR codes over here. There's treats, there's food. Please help yourself. I want to thank AZ Fashion Week for this space. And Varsity. I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't think I was gonna cry. Okay, it's okay.
We love you, girl.
Oh my God.
This is what we talked about the whole time.
Exactly.
We're trying to hold it together. Here we go. Tea times are special for me because it's something I did with my dad growing up. So all of this is means a lot to me today. I lost him this March, so it's just this has been the first thing that I felt creative again to do. So fashion's been my community, so I just appreciate really everyone for being here today. Love you all. So sorry, but can y'all please eat? But we're good.
Yes. Woo! Kelly, turn up the music.
Jesus Christ, don't let anybody cry around me. I'm such a good